1965, the year Beatlemania dominated the world. 1965 was a year of significant events in Brazil and around the world, shaping the political and cultural landscape of the time. In Brazil, the military regime established the previous year was led by President Castelo Branco, who in that same year instituted Institutional Act No. 2, decreed in October, which extinguished the existing political parties, establishing a two-party system with ARENA, National Renewal Alliance, and MDB, Brazilian Democratic Movement. Se você busca por canal que combina elementos históricos, culturais e automobilísticos, criando uma experiência única para os espectadores, você encontrou. Seja bem-vindo ao canal RVC Carros Clássicos.
Querida, relembre os momentos tão...
The year 1965 was marked by a series of significant events worldwide. In the political sphere, the United States intensified its presence in the Vietnam War, sending a large contingent of soldiers to the region, which further amplified the polarization and conflicts there. Meanwhile, in Brazil, the country lived under the military regime established in 1964. The military government consolidated its power by promulgating institutional acts and repressing communists who formed the political opposition. In the cultural sphere, the 1960s were marked by movements of protest and the search for freedom of expression. In Brazil, musical movements such as Jovem Guarda, led by Roberto and Erasmo Carlos, as well as Vanderleia and Tropicalia, emerged, bringing new dreams and ideas to the country's cultural scene. It was also in 1965 that Monarch launched its new BR65 double-bar bicycle, which had a frame completely different from the models previously released by the company. Speaking now of soap operas, on TV Excelsior on April 19th, the soap opera Vidas Cruzadas premiered at 7:30 p.m., where the character Enrique Varela, a fugitive criminal sought by the police, assumes the identity of Bruno Vieira, his lookalike who died in an accident. Conflicts accelerate when Varela goes to live in Bruno's house, passing himself off as him to his family, only to find the home in total disarray. In the automotive world, with the success of the first Ford Mustang in '64, Lee Iacocca, Ford's manager, sought the expertise of Carroll Shelby to transform the Mustang into a true high-performance sports car. On December 27, 1965, the first Shelby Mustang, a Shelby GT 350, made its public debut on September 16, 1965. The Brazilian telecommunications company Embratel was founded by President Castelo Branco. Another company that was also inaugurated in 1965 was TV Globo on April 26th in Rio de Janeiro. Follow now with another video from our channel, remembering not to forget to like and share. The so-called Cultural Revolution, which would peak in 1968, was already beginning in both music, cinema, and customs. Feminism, the fight for human rights, and other libertarian movements were happening worldwide, at the same time as military regimes gained strength in Latin America, like that of Brazil. On November 16th, the Soviet probe Venera 3 was launched, reaching Venus on February 16, 1966, maintaining radio contact with Earth. It became the first terrestrial object to land on another planet, although this landing was not controlled. On January 24th, Winston Churchill, English statesman and politician famous for his role as Prime Minister during World War II, died in London. On February 21st, American human rights activist Malcolm X was fatally shot by Muslim extremists during a speech at the Audubon Ballroom in Manhattan, New York. It was also in 1965 that Institutional Act No. 2 was decreed, which resumed cassations, extinguished political parties, imposed indirect elections for president, granted the president the power to decree a state of siege without prior government consultation, intervene in states and close Congress, dismiss employees, and issue supplementary acts and decree laws. Elis Regina inaugurated Brazilian popular music in '65 when she performed Arrastão, a song by Vinicius de Moraes and Edu Lobo. The movement was consolidated at the Festival de Música Popular Brasileira on TV record. The behavior of society undoubtedly influenced fashion. It was at this time that unisex clothing emerged, an example of which was the women's tuxedo. The miniskirt, meanwhile, was the main mark of the 1960s. Speaking now of soap operas, on April 19th, the soap opera Vidas Cruzadas premiered on TV Excelsior. The plot revolved around Henrique Varela, the fugitive criminal sought by the police, who assumes the identity of Bruno Vieira, his look-alike, who died in an accident. Conflicts accelerate when Varela goes to live in Bruno's house, passing himself off as him to his family, only to find the home in total disarray. The soap opera Marina premiered on TV Globo, a production of TV Globo in São Paulo. From the time of the purchase of TV Paulista, the soap opera Marina was the only Globo soap opera of actress Maximira Figueiredo and the first Globo soap opera of directors Toribio Ruiz and Lucy Meireles. Now it's time to find out the most played songs in 1965 on radio stations across the country.
O quê? Só o que não quer que eu tostine dizer que é gostoso? Não. Waffles, leite, queijo, carícia, clube cracker, rosquinha de coco, sanduíche, saltique, Maria. Vocês não entenderam? Vamos começar tudo de novo. Cream cracker, huevo, leite, sabor.
Desculpe, mas já soltou o breque de mão? Isso, com calma. Solte a embreagem devagar. Não tem importância, dê partida novamente. Não, põe um ponto morto primeiro. Não, assim não. Você já imaginou se não fosse um Volkswagen?
And now, let's get to the highlights of the year 1965. Regarding the automotive world, in Brazil, the Puma story begins in 1964 in the city of Matão, in the interior of São Paulo, when a group of automotive enthusiasts, led by Rino Malzone, decide to create a sports car. Already in 1965, the first prototypes of the Malzone GT were exhibited. Later, these cars would be called Puma, still using DKW mechanics. The Simca Precedence was the luxurious version of the Simca Chambord. It had wire wheels similar to those of the Maserati 250F, a spare tire behind the trunk, exclusive colors, and leather seats. In 1965, it received the V8 engine from the 1965 Tufão model. The Aero Willys gained improvements in its lines, such as the new lower rear end with new taillight designs, as well as new headlight contours. Other remodelings would come in the trims, in addition to exclusive color options and seat patterns and the 4-speed synchronized gearbox. In late 1965, for a national fleet of over 2,100,000 vehicles, 58% of them were already national. In 1965, FNM paid more attention to its technical assistance network, and in 1965, Volkswagen was the first national automaker to inaugurate a development, research and design center with the aim of creating new products. The brand launched projects such as the Karmann Ghia, from the German Karmann Ghia, won the Volkswagen SP2 and the Brasilia hatchback, launched throughout the 70s. In '65, Wemag launched the Belcar Rio in honor of the 4th centenary of the city of Rio de Janeiro, and the cars started to be equipped with the Lubrimatic system, which eliminates the need to mix oil and gasoline directly in the tank. And now, let's get to the car sales ranking for the year 1965. The year did not have major changes, with the Fusca leading production, remaining in first place, followed by the Aero Willys and the Volkswagen Combi, which returned to third position. The negative highlight of the year was the Toyota Bandeirante, which fell 65% compared to 1964. We thank our friends for watching our video so far. Don't forget to like and share, and if you're not yet subscribed to our channel, subscribe, and see you in the next video.